Good morning and welcome. I'm proud Digital Marketing Manager here at ElysianNxt. Today, we're celebrating a special milestone, 8 years of growth, innovation, and new possibilities. I'm sitting down with Chris, our CEO, to talk about the journey so far and what's ahead for the future of risk technology. Let's get started. Chris, so it's such an exciting moment for ElysianNxt today. We're turning 8 years old. So how do you feel about that?
Honestly, proud. I feel great. These are some of the most enjoyable years in a company's journey. The first 5 years are definitely the toughest ones. You have to build the top-notch product. You have to assemble a strong team, secure the necessary funding, land those very important first clients. Once all that is laid down, you've got a solid foundation, a solid groundwork, and then the real fun kicks in. Because now we're expanding on the solid foundation we've all worked so hard on.
Yeah, definitely. Building a foundation is never easy, but once it's there, as you say, the real innovation can then begin. And I can definitely see that there's a lot of fun and innovation happening at Elysian right now. With that in mind, what main challenges has ElysianNxt been determined to solve for financial institutions in the past year?
Okay, so at ElysianNxt, we're known for our ultra-fast calculations. Letting clients run simulations, stress tests at the speed of light. So over the past year, we've doubled down on the ultimate challenge of the century, which is climate risk. Combining forward-looking scenario simulations, we've built powerful forward-looking testing capabilities within the heart of our platform. While the US may be, cooling off on climate initiatives, certainly under Mr. Trump, we've seen strong demand popping up in Australia, Indonesia, and Europe, regions where, thankfully for Mother Earth, climate risk remains firmly on the agenda. Another very important pain point in the industry is basically data management. Regulatory pushes like BCBS 239 have finally convinced institutions to get serious about data lineage. Our philosophy is simple. Clean up the data once, and then you can reuse it across all the financial risk calculations and regulatory reporting, with full traceability right back to the original contractual details. And speaking of regulatory reporting, our new module, reg.nxt, empowers banks to take full control. It maps to the dictionaries of various regulatory vendors, giving banks the flexibility to choose which vendor they want to go for each regulation, rather than buying into a very expensive fairy tale that one vendor can do regulatory reporting globally. Finally, there's also ALM.nxt. We've built our dynamic balance sheet forecasting, interest rate risk, liquidity internal models, and funds transfer pricing. A few banks are already running ALM.nxt, and the feedback has been overwhelming. They love the speed, they love the flexibility, and how intuitive it is to use.
It's great to hear how far the platform has come. But even with all this progress, there are still a lot of misconceptions out there, especially around new risks. What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about managing climate risk?
Well, to be honest, it reminds me a lot of when IFRS 9 was introduced with its forward-looking expected credit loss components. Back then, a lot of institutions underestimated just how much processing power would be needed. They didn't fully grasp the volumes of calculation points involved. And now, years later, we see a wave of replacing legacy IFRS 9 systems. Whether it's driven by regulatory audits or the sheer operational concerns like shortening the month-end reporting cycles, climate risk follows exactly the same pattern, but on a bigger and more enormous scale of calculations. More scenarios, more data points, and much longer time horizons. This demands massive processing capabilities. Institutions that think they can manage it with outdated legacy systems are in for a tough reality check.
Definitely. A lot of lessons are still being learned. Now, let's rewind a little bit to the beginning of the ElysianNxt journey. What was the moment that made you say, risk needs to be done differently?
Right at the start of the company 8 years ago, We took a hard look at the lessons from our previous company and asked ourselves, how can we avoid making the same mistakes? What are the lessons learned? And armed with those insights and with a wave of new technology like native cloud technologies, streaming and microservices, we knew one thing for sure. We didn't want to build regulatory calculators just for ticking compliance boxes. Our strategy was clear from day one. Simulations and stress testing had to be at the heart of the platform, not an afterthought. We wanted users to run scenarios effortlessly without needing to call in IT every time. So we set out to build a platform designed for change. And given the pace and scale of transformation we're still seeing today, it's clear that decision paid off.
So let's fast forward to today. And that vision has clearly paid off. Let's dive deeper into where ElysianNxt is headed next. Starting with a big one. What gives ElysianNxt the edge to embark on the mission to empower the future of climate risk?
As I mentioned, from day one, ElysianNxt was built for speed, scale and ease of use. Not patched on later, but designed natively in our enterprise-wide risk platform. Without these foundations, you simply can't tackle climate risk simulations in the credit risk space. After all, climate risk is the mother of all credit risk simulations. We're talking about 30-year time horizons, evolving balance sheets, dynamic changes at the most granular level of models, and all kinds of geographical and industry dimensions that come into play. The processing demands for these are exponentially greater than expected credit loss calculations. To put it simple, if you can't crunch ECL numbers for 15 million exposures across 3 scenarios in under an hour, you're not even close to being ready for climate risk simulations. I think that financial institutions will face 2 choices when faced with regulatory climate risk demands. Either they task their modeling teams to hack together calculations using toolkits like SAS, or they embrace a platform like ours, one that's built on the same trusted data and solution that the firms already use for regulatory financial risk numbers. Not to mention that second approach is exactly what the ECB recommends to avoid reconciliation headaches and maximize transparency.
Clearly, the platform was built with the future in mind. So how did that mission shape ElysianNxt's product strategy?
It wasn't just about adapting, it was about redefining how financial institutions prepare for an uncertain future. We didn't simply extend our platform, we elevated it. Building on our core strengths in ultra-fast calculation, we expanded our capabilities to offer banks a true end-to-end solution for climate risk. Not as an add-on, but as a strategic backbone. We put major emphasis on advancing our portfolio models, empowering banks to forecast climate impacts across products, geographies and sectors with precision. This multidimensional approach gives institutions the ability to anticipate and actively navigate the future shaped by climate volatility, economic and political uncertainty. With dynamic balance sheets running across multiple scenarios and decades into the future, we're enabling banks not just to react to change, but to lead through it.
And behind every strong platform is strong data management. Let's talk about how that comes together. What role does data.nxt and reg.nxt play in helping banks future-proof their reporting and compliance needs?
On the data management side, we've continued to push data.nxt forward, while also introducing reg.nxt standard connectors to our platform. With data.nxt, banks can work with their data in its original business format, apply built-in quality checks, and make any necessary adjustments, all fully traceable and auditable. Reg.nxt takes it then one step forward. It provides seamless connectivity to regulatory vendors' data dictionaries, ensuring complete data lineage and full drill-back capability to the bank's original business data. Together, data.nxt and reg.nxt streamline regulatory reporting and ensure full BCBS 239 compliance. And just as important, we solve the major points that come with dealing with traditional global reg vendors. Their platforms use proprietary data structures unfamiliar to risk and finance users. They run black box calculations that barely meet baseline regulatory demands, and they struggle with performance because they have to deal with now high volume data while they're slow, inefficient, and anything but future-proof. So their main sales pitch is, we cover 30 countries, don't worry. But they come at a very heavy price in flexibility, in efficiency, and opacity. Our approach flips that script. We work directly with native business data, we clean it, we manage it, perform all financial and regulatory calculations with record-breaking speed, and then transparently map it into the vendor's regulatory dictionary for final last-mile reporting. The result is full flexibility, full data lineage, back to the business data, lightning-fast calculations, and critically, the flexibility that you offer the banks to choose the best reporting vendor for each regulation rather than being locked into one. It's a smarter, it's a faster, and far more cost-effective way to future-proof compliance.
And of course, even the best technology is possible because of the people behind it. And none of this can be achieved without the ElysianNxt team. So, fun little question for you. How would you describe the ElysianNxt team in 3 words?
Completely right that nothing can be achieved without having a great team. It's a very difficult question, by the way, 3 words. I would say visionary, committed, and fun-loving.
And why those 3 words specifically?
Because we do work extremely hard. We dream big about how we can revolutionize our domain, and we're very serious about our product and our clients, but without ever taking ourselves too seriously. It's a roller coaster after all, so make sure that we have a lot of laughs along the way.
Yes, definitely. And I can really see that the team is having a lot of fun, and you've created such an amazing and fun place for the team to work in, so which is good. So I'm curious to know my next question. What does success look like for you as a leader?
Well, actually true success is basically for me hearing our clients say that they genuinely love what we've built, not just the product, but also the people, the team behind it. Even more rewarding is when our own team says they feel part of something bigger than a company, that they feel part of a family. So when these things come together, when passion, the pride, and a sense of belonging all blend in, that's when I know that we're really doing a good job.
Okay, so as we celebrate this milestone, it's a good time to look ahead. So where do you see ElysianNxt going next?
I mean, in terms of the product, our mission stays the same, to keep building the best platform on the planet. Regarding financial risk calculations and simulations, we continue to invest heavily in our core components and features every single year. And the best part is that our clients can fully enjoy all the latest innovations with an upgrade process that is as smooth as silk. On the technology side, we're moving towards a very interesting revolution, which is serverless. What does that mean, serverless computing? It's basically that you don't have to reserve any machines any longer. So machines are not, are not reserved and are standing there idle. They're only going to be used on the moment that calculations kick in and they ask for processing power. So it's a much more cost-effective way to do all these risk calculations and simulations.
Great. And what about the team?
Now, the future of the ElysianNxt team is about staying true to our roots while expanding our reach. I mean, we're building a global team, but it still feels like a close-knit family, combining deep functional and technical expertise with a fun-loving, ambitious spirit. I mean, as we grow, one of our key priorities is to protect and nurse that DNA that made us successful in the first place. It's about agility, the passion, and genuine camaraderie. Growth brings opportunity, but keeping that culture alive is that will make that journey truly special. I mean, every single new colleague we bring on is not just adding skills, they're becoming part of a story that stays personal even as we scale globally.
That sounds amazing. So to wrap up, what's keeping you personally excited about the next 12 months?
Well, I would definitely hope to shave off 10 strokes of my golf handicap. But joking aside, I mean, these are very incredibly exciting times. I mean, for the moment, we are having serious conversations with major global banks about enterprise-wide risk stress tests, which is a huge milestone. But honestly, I mean, size isn't everything. I just get as much satisfaction working with small institutions, helping them implement our full platform, and seeing the great feedback that comes with it. Watching both big and small clients succeed with what we've built is what keeps us all energized and motivated.
All right. Thanks a lot for sharing your insights, Chris. And a big thank you to everyone who's been a part of ElysianNxt journey so far. We're proud of how far we've come and even more excited for what's ahead. If you need a faster, smarter way to manage financial risk, get in touch. We're here to help.